My name is Gillian Wegener, and I'm the current Poet Laureate of Modesto, California. You've just watched one of the many readings from the Bark and Dog Grill as part of the Second Tuesday Poetry Series. We've been running the series now for 3.5 years, and we're going strong. So we're very excited about the poetry community that is it's such a big part of our Modesto area and the Stanislaus County area as well. It's vibrant, it's exciting, and there's a lot going on besides the Bark and Dog poetry readings. As Poet Laureate, I'm very interested in trying to bring poetry to more elements of our county. I really want to include the whole county and all the 9 cities in it and the outlying areas. And so in doing that, some of the projects that I am working on includes the Stanislaus Poem, which would be a collaborative poem written by the people of Stanislaus County. Everybody is invited to write a quatrain, a 4-line poem celebrating their area, whether that is the specific city that they live in or the land around us, the creeks, the waterways, the tributaries, the way the sky looks at dusk in the summer, the orchards, the little animals that live around us, and the people, and all the many, many things that there are going on in our world here that are wonderful. So we want to put together this poem that really celebrates the space we have here and the people we are here, because as you might know, this area does not always get the best reputation, but it really is a wonderful place to live and to grow up and to work and to write poetry. So we are working on that. Another project that we've been working on, and this has been going for 4 years, is the New Year's Poetry Challenge. This is a 30-day poetry challenge where I send out a prompt to anybody who's interested, and they write a poem a day for 30 days. Nobody checks up on you. It's not homework. You don't have to send your poem in anywhere. It's just a chance for people to think about poetry during really what's quite a busy time, the holiday season, and to kind of slow down and really think carefully about the world around them again. And prompts vary widely, and poets love some of them and other poets don't like those, and so you kind of pick and choose. We've had poets write all 30 poems. We've had poets who take all 30 prompts and put them away for later. Whatever you want to do is okay. But this will be coming up again in December of this year, usually around the beginning of the month. In addition to that, we are working on putting together the Modesto Poetry Center. I'm really excited about this. I think because there are so many activities going on in our town, and because so many poets are interested and excited, and there are several poetry groups that work together regularly, I think that there's a big case for putting together a poetry center, something like the Sacramento Poetry Center, where we can host readings and lectures that would be, of course, open to the public and hopefully free to everybody. And these lectures might have to do with the flora and fauna of our area. They might have to do with a certain poet. They might have to do with, us writing a certain kind of poem. And various workshops would be great. And I'd love to bring in poets from other areas to share their perspectives with us, since we in Modesto tend to get to know each other pretty well over time. And one thing we really want to do as part of the Poetry Center is to get poetry in the schools, to have many of the retired teachers who are also poets to take their talents into the schools and to bring poetry to a new generation there. So this would be a really exciting way to enrich current curriculums and to get kids excited about writing beyond the kind of prescripted writing that a lot of us have to do in school these days. We really want to bring poetry to senior centers and to care facilities. And we have the reading at the Bark and Dog, but not everybody can make it out on a Tuesday night. So we want to bring poetry to them as well. And so we have a bunch of poets who are very interested in doing this. And we're pursuing this in a number of different venues and are looking forward to getting that out into the world as well over the next year. So as Poet Laureate, I write poems for any occasion the city needs them, and you know, basically we're trying to tie poetry in to as many different aspects of life as we can, both, you know, for me as Laureate, but also for you know, any poet out there who wants to have a place to share his or her work. So this year at the Bark and Dog, we have a lot of people coming in from the Sacramento area, from the Bay Area, from Fresno, and it's a really vibrant and exciting time to share. After the Bark and Dog readings, we always have an open mic. Anybody is welcome to come and bring a poem that they have that they're excited about reading, one they've written, even one they haven't written, but one that's meaningful to them. That would be appropriate there as well. So I think our open mics have been pretty successful, and it's always wonderful to hear other people's work. Another of the projects that we've been thinking about doing is having a poem a month in the Modesto Bee. And this poem would be, you know, we're still in the planning stages, but the original idea was that the poem would be one that was new to a lot of people, not necessarily written by somebody in our area, maybe important historically or timely to current events, something like that. Another idea that's been floated is to have a poem a month by a local writer and get that into the wider community as well. So those are both things that we're working on. When I say we're working on them, I'm kind of heading this up, but there's a great team of poets who are very enthusiastic about working on this and have a lot of great ideas themselves. So it's not just me alone who is, you know, plotting and planning about how to get poetry into every corner of our lives. There are a lot of people who are very enthusiastic and looking forward to working on these projects as well. Finally, we have a lot of people, as I said, who are working on this in various ways. We have one poet who's working to the senior centers, another poet who's very interested in giving lectures, and we have another poet, former Poet Laureate here in Modesto, Ed Bearden, who has put together a Modesto Poetry Festival this year. That'll be in February, and hopefully that will continue and be an annual event that we can all really look forward to. The Poetry Festival will have workshops and a keynote address and just a time for the poetry community to come together and work together to write more poems and to learn more about their craft. This will continue and perhaps merge with maybe a Modesto Poetry Walk, which would be modeled on the Petaluma Poetry Walk that happens every year in the fall. And this is an event where there are several venues, and at each venue a poet reads their work, and the audience listens, of course, but also has a chance to have coffee and hang out, and then go on to, after the reading, another venue where, you know, they may hear another poet or another writer and get the chance to be there together, and then go to yet a third venue. So say this started off at the Bark and Dog in downtown Modesto, and then we walked over to the garden at McHenry Mansion, and then we walked over to the Rose Garden across the street from the mansion, and so on. And at each venue there would be a poet reading their work, sharing their ideas, and hopefully inspiring people to write their poetry as well. I've been to the Petaluma Poetry Walk a couple of times. It's an amazing event. They bring in a lot of poets from outside the area, and so eventually that would be a goal for us too, to bring in poets from the wider world to enrich our poetry community here. So what can you do if you want to get involved in poetry here in Modesto? Well, it's easy. All you have to do is email me at wegenerspage@yahoo.com, and I will put you on our email contact list. This will enable you to be on the list to receive an email periodically that has readings and that has events, submissions, news. Any news pertaining to poetry is on this. In addition to that, you'll hear more about the Modesto Poetry Center, any plans that are going on, and you are welcome to get involved in that as well. We look forward to meeting you, and thank you for your interest in poetry.